Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Raj Boogie once again. I am sorry for the wait, but I finished the song for you guys. This is part two of Let's Make a Song. As you can see on my desktop here. Oh, and excuse me for the drop in quality. Also, the way I'm set up right now, I'm not able to record the narration separately, so I got everything on one track. So I'm not really able to do any noise reduction or any processing like that. So we gonna work like this. But as you can see on my desktop, I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. That's how many mixes it took for me to get to the final product and for me to be satisfied with it. So without further ado, I'm gonna let you guys hear the finished product first, and then I'm gonna take you guys step by step on how I got to the final product. So let's go.
He's right there! He's right there! He's on! He's on! How about that? Hey, man. You saw the president, right?
I saw the president.
Yes, Lord.
That messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw him waving?
Yeah.
He looked out the window?
Yeah.
My mama all alone getting by welfare. I don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Mama, the city still ours. We yelling out our hoods, we don't even own our homes. We don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Bro, the city still ours. 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 Yeah, the city still ours. We made it past our teens off of sheer willpower. From the bottom of near view to the zenith for Main Hill. We free to go anywhere in the fair houses. We looking for a real fix. For Adderall, replace the alcohol, but we've been still since. What used to be ridiculed here is now glorified. Take a pop of this here, watch it'll be alright. Nah. We say it's a great thing to be 30 and answer just how we made it to 18, Maybe we just being modest. We ain't supposed to be breathing. This privilege was ill-gotten. How we dodge all the bullets that came for us. Maybe we were made to duck. It's like we joined the devil to stay away from the angel dust. We were rebels to the lifestyle this city reeks. And we were raised on beliefs that our dreams will fall to reach. The outside is the world. 9 miles is where we locked in. The more we stay the same, the longer they keep us boxed in. And yet we still slumped on our couches. We claim to come from kings, but yet the govs owning our houses. Wait, the city's still ours. The city's still ours. The city's still ours. The city's still ours. We yelling at our hood, we don't even own our homes. I don't care, the city's still ours. The city's still ours. Mom, the city's still ours.
Want to make a statement about the president's visit today. We are grateful that the president came, but we want to tell our side of the story. The Camden parent unit and Camden student union came together today to tell the other version. The other version is we don't feel secure, we don't feel safe, and the education reform is not working. We want to save our public schools, we want to save our communities, we want to save streets, we want a better Camden.
Okay, that's the finished song. As you can see, the name of the song is "The City Still Ours," and basically what the song is about is, pretty much the mind state of of the people in the inner city. People in the inner city. Niggas from the hood, just to say it like that. We claim all these blocks and we claim all these places, whatever like that. Places in our city, pretty much we claim our hood, claim our section. But in reality, most of us, is like aren't owning anything. Most of us is renting and renting out houses, renting out our houses or renting out our apartments, and um some of us are even in the system, through Section 8. So what are we really claiming? But we don't care. The city's still ours. Our hood is still ours. Our section is still ours. Our block is still ours. Even though we don't own these things, even though we don't own our properties, the blocks are still ours. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the mind state that I'm trying to portray in this song. But without further ado, I'm going to bring you guys into the session. Yeah, I'm surprised at my computer right now. It's holding on. You see that my plugin usage is out the window. Um, that's because my plugin efficiency is in the basement. Um, I'm pretty liberal when it comes to mixing. So I kind of like do the first thing that comes to mind. I don't always use the best way to do things all the time. I usually just do the first thing that comes to mind. So that's where this comes from. And where are we going to start? The first thing I did before recording is to bring down the levels. Where we at? To bring down the levels of everything. As I was showing you guys in the first video, that I kept everything 32-bit because of this reason. So I brought everything down to be at an optimal level when I'm recording and when I'm using plugins. So I'm gonna take the mix bus processing off, and I'm gonna show you guys the level it is now.
My mama all alone, getting by on welfare. I don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Mama, city still ours. We yelling out our hoods, we don't even own our homes.
Focus here.
The city still ours. The city still ours. Bro, the city still ours. The city still ours. The city.
Now, see, I mean, nothing goes past 0. I try to keep everything, at optimal level. And this is the VU. I'm using the VU meter right now instead of the peak and RMS, which is the default meter. So when I'm recording, I use this meter when I'm, when I'm processing. And this is to keep everything, low and pretty much at an optimal level. And I can hear myself when I record. I mean, because I used to make the mistake of, especially when I used to record on instrumentals, I thought something was wrong, when my vocals were wasn't loud enough, and I couldn't get everything loud enough because I was clipping. So I used this practice, and then it helps with my gain staging too when I'm mixing. Let me see the next thing. I'm gonna show you guys the additions I made since the last video. Now the tracks that are in gray are the ones that I added after, since the video. So, as you can see, I added, I layered another kick. Let me see, I added a bass line. I added another piano to go under the first piano we had. I added a little harp, to layer with the piano. I added a couple synths, a couple transitions, or one transition, and I added a couple. Well, of course, I added a couple of clips as well. So I'm gonna go through each addition right now. First thing I added was a kick, just to give it a little bit of oomph. So I'm gonna let you guys hear that alone, and then it with the first kick that I added. So here we go. And I'm gonna bring the other one in. First kick by itself. With it together. Just to give it a little oomph to it. Second thing I added was a bass line to go with the 808 we had in the first video. I'm gonna show it to you guys by itself, and then I'm gonna show it. Well, I'm gonna let you guys hear it in the mix. Here we go. Where we at? Boom. All right, then I'm gonna let you guys hear it with the 808. It sounds crazy by itself, but it works in the mix. So I'm gonna let you guys hear that without the vocals. Let me. I'm gonna mute it. All right. Next thing I added. Where we at? What did I add next? Okay, so I added the piano. So here's the original piano we had. Remember that? And then I added this. That by itself. And I used the gentleman for this one. Alright. Let me see. Another thing I added was the harp. I just added a little harp to again layer it with the piano, and this comes at certain times. It doesn't come. It's not throughout the whole song, but just at certain times. And what you guys hear with the. All right. Now, another thing that I added was a little synth that plays in the background. You guys pretty in the mix, you probably won't hear it, but it's a little high. It gives a little, high frequency sheen to it. You won't notice it. It's not really prominent in the mix, but you'll notice it when you take it out. So here's what it sounds like. If you guys can hear it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring it up. Where is it? That's what it sounds like. And here's how it sounds in the mix. You probably don't even hear it. Now let me take it out. Y'all notice that? Alright, so that's what it does. That's what that does. I added another synth. What did I use? I used the massive. I made a synth off scratch, from scratch. Just to add a little transition, between the chorus and the verse. So here's what that sounds like. And here's how it sounds in the mix.
Yeah.
Probably won't even hear that either. All right. The last thing besides the clip that I added was a little rise to transition into the chorus. Let me see if I can bring that back up. Here it is. Okay, so here's what it sounds like. And I did that basically just by adding a tone generator with it to generate some white noise, and then I just automated an EQ with the low pass filter. So like I said, once again, here's what it's doing, and then I bring the filter out and back in. So that's what I did there. Um, just hide that again. And I added the two clips. Now the two clips are I got those off of YouTube, but the first clip is a clip that was from our city pretty much when President Obama came to our city to speak with the police force. You know, everything, the whole city was shut down pretty much. And he was going to one of the community centers out Kramer Hill. And I got a clip of a dad and a father and his son, pretty much waiting for the president. And they rolled, the president rolled by. They was excited and everything. But pretty much that was a moment in history for us, for our city. Something that we can tell our children when they're growing up. That we actually had a black president, and the president came to our city. So that's I wanted to add that kind of feel to it. And the second clip in the outro is basically the same day when the president came. It was basically a video of everybody voicing their opinions and you know trying to get the president's attention to the city's problems. Because pretty much Obama came to talk about the dropping crime rate, which is kind of bogus, but I won't get into that. um but pretty much presenting the problems from a civilian's perspective, from the community's perspective. And like I said, I wanted to generate that feel because pretty much this song is for us, for the city of Camden, and from cities nationwide. So I try to bring that type of feel, that type of attention to it. Okay, so we're gonna begin with the chorus now. As you can see, my chorus tracks are still called Scratch and Scratch 2. And that's because these are the scratch vocals I recorded back when I was still in the production phase, adding things. Um, what I like to do is, when I get a skeleton down, I like to, get ideas and record them. So pretty much that's what that was, So I wrote a little chorus and, laid it down. And at the end of the day, the scratch vocals were the best takes. As with most songs, any real artist will tell you that. Most of the times the scratch vocals ends up being the best, the best takes. So I decided to go with the scratch vocals. Did a little processing on the individual tracks, which I usually don't do. But like I said, I liked how it sounds, so I kept it that way, and I bust them later, and did some processing here. What you guys can see here. Just to let you guys know too, I'm a bit liberal when it comes to mixing. As you can see, my plug-in efficiency is down the basement, but I get the job done. The best thing I use is my ears. So this is what it do. So I'm gonna show it to you guys. I'm gonna let you guys hear it raw first. So without further ado, here we go.
My mama all alone, getting by on welfare. I don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. The city still ours. We yelling out our hoods, we don't even own our homes. We don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Bro, the city still ours. The city still ours. The city still ours. The city still ours. The city still ours.
All right. So that's how it sounds raw. So I'm gonna let you guys hear it processed.
My mama all alone getting by on welfare. I don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Mom, the city still ours. We yelling out our hoods, we don't even own our homes. We don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Bro, the city still ours. The city still ours. The city still ours. The city still ours. The city still ours.
Okay. All right, so that's how it sounds processed. And pretty much what I did. Um, okay, so that was the processing I did. Basically doing the scratch process. This was before I brought the levels down. That's why I used the mix tool to bring the vocals up to the levels. So I kind of kept it like that. Usually that's not how I work, but I kept it like that. So I um, used the Renaissance compressor to, pretty much level it out. I love this plugin. This is my joint right here. I use this on everything. Um, Let me see. I gave it a little EQ, took out the lows, took out the problem frequencies, used the de-esser, um, a little reverb to give it a little bit of color, and used a LA2A emulation by the Modder series. It's a free plugin. It's 32-bit, so I had to use JBridge to get it working. But so I like it. I like it. Like I said, I'm pretty liberal when it comes to plugins, so I didn't really have, you know, a set method when I chose these plugins. Usually when I try to compress stuff, I try to level it out, and of course with EQ, I listen with my ears for the problem frequencies, and I do mostly subtractive EQing. I only boost when need be. I rarely boost any frequencies. I did the same thing uh with the low vocal. I'm sorry. Let me show you guys the individual. So this is how it sounds individually.
My mama all alone getting by on welfare. I don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours.
So I did a low vocal, and then I did a high in unison.
My mama all alone getting by on welfare. I don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Mom, the city still ours.
And of course I did some processing with the integrated Melodyne, just to bring everything up. Like I said, I'm not a singer, but I know enough to get the job done. I mean, thank God. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the chorus. On to the next part, which is the first part of the verse where I sing a little bit also. Kind of, doing, a singing, a melodic rapping thing, So here is everything raw.
Yeah, the city still ours. We made it past our teens off of sheer willpower. From the bottom of near view to the zenith for Main Hill. We free to go anywhere and the fear allows us. We looking for a real fix. When Adderall replaced the alcohol, we've been still since. What used to be ridiculed here is now glorified. Take a pop of this here and watch it'll be alright. Nah.
I mean, it's pretty good raw. Just to let you guys know too, I process going in as well. I compress a little bit just to control the peaks a little bit, and then I EQ a little bit going in also. But here is it processed. Well, here it is processed. Oops.
Yeah, the city still ours. We made it past our teens off of sheer willpower. From the bottom of near view to the zenith for Main Hill. We free to go anywhere and the fear allows us. We Looking for a real fix. When Adderall replaced the alcohol, man, we've been still since. What used to be ridiculed heads now glorified. Take a pop of this here and watch it'll be alright. Nah.
And once again, of course, my plug-in chain is a little ridiculous. I know. Um, one reason why it's like this though is that I don't like going back, making adjustments to stuff I already did. If I need to make any adjustments, I just slap on a new plugin and just adjust from there. So you might see about like 3, 4 compressors and about like 4 or 5 EQs. Um, all right, so I started off with all right, boom. I started off with the SSL emulation of native SSL compressor emulation of by Native Instruments. Um, I use that quite frequently on some of my tracks. I use it less often now. I usually kind of rely on the Renaissance compressor these days, but this is a good plugin to use when it comes to vocals, or it comes to my vocals at least. So I'm gonna let you guys hear it raw, and then
Yeah, the city's still ours. We made it past our teens off of sheer willpower. From the bottom of near view to the zenith of Main Hill, we free to go anywhere and the fear allows us. We looking for a real fix. When Adderall replaced the alcohol.
so I got that taking about 6 dB of gain reduction. Next thing I added was an EQ. I'm not gonna go through. I'm not gonna go through every single one. Let me just turn everything back on. Did a little EQ. Did it. I like I said. I go by ear, so this EQ is a little strong. So did that. I added another compressor. This time the Bus Driver by Nomad Factory. Um, Let me see. It's a two knob compressor. I usually go with compressors. With as least knobs as possible. Of course, this has a set attack and release time. It's pretty quick. It's kind of like a mix between 1176 and LA2A. With the quick attack times. With the quick attack and release times of 1176 and the functionality of a LA2A. As you can see. What else did I add? I added no. I'm sorry. Boom. Here we go. Then I added I added yet another compressor. This one is a Blue Stripe 1176 Blue Stripe emulation by Modern once again. Add another EQ, some reverb to add some color, and this is besides the reverb I add as a send. I usually add reverbs to give it a little color, and to smooth out the high end because I'm pretty my vocals is pretty my S's are pretty present. So I kind of like added to give it a little color and to smooth out the high end. I added a de-esser, and again I pretty much mix by ear. I really don't have a set method in using these plugins. I added an exciter, just to boost the low end a little bit. I'm not sure why, but it sounded right, and I boosted the high end a little bit. In my mind, it didn't make sense when I did it, but when I did it, I mean, it sounded right, so I just kept it that way. Yet another EQ, another compressor, with a long attack and release, just to level it out a little bit more. And last, I added another EQ just to take out some high end, try to in attempts to deal with the sibilants. That's kind of been my issue when it comes to mixing, or maybe when it comes to my voice. As any real mix engineer would tell you, they would tell you not to mix yourself, and that's what I tend to do. But it's free, so what can you say? Um, all right. So that's it with the first part of the verse. Now on to the second part. Pretty much the same deal. Once again, my plug-in chain is outrageous. Um, you know what? I started off with the blue stripe, bus driver, um, the Renaissance. You know, but I do kind of use some principles when it comes to compressing. My first compressors or first one or two compressors are used to pretty much you know um handle the peaks, and the rest of them are pretty much leveling, bringing everything to level. So the first two is pretty much dealing with peaks, and then this Renaissance here is leveling. Did some EQing. Once again, my EQing is strong, and maybe that's a sign to me. Me, having to work on me recording better. I mean, I keep everything level wise. I'm good recording wise, but maybe I need to work on my EQing going in. Never sure. But I like to keep everything kind of like dry and raw anyway, so I can do some processing because I like processing. I don't know why. Did another EQ. Um, Added a reverb. Once again to add some color, and I add this as an insert. I don't give it much effects. I keep it at about 0.5%, no more than 1%. Because it works. Added another de-esser, added an exciter, same, same story as before. Another compressor, see, how I got everything long, so it's pretty much leveling at this point. Another EQ. Like I said, I don't like going back making adjustments, so this is where it comes from. Another EQ, and I'm using this EQ to deal with the low end a little bit because the low end was popping out a little bit. So I used the EQ sidechain function on the Wave C1 to to bring to tame the low end a little bit. Um, Yet another EQ, another compressor. I think I did this to make the vocal stronger because it wasn't strong enough. And then no, I didn't. I ended up not using this, so I can take that out. So let me see how many plugins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plugins on my vocals. Yeah, I'm working on that as we speak. I'm working on my mixing methods. I'm trying to keep everything in mind, keep my plugin count low when I'm processing. But I mean, this is what happens when you go by ear. I mix by ear. Um, I pretty much I know the rules when it comes to the functions of compressors and EQs. But you come to a point when once you know the rules, I mean, you're not gonna do any. You're gonna do nothing. But once you know the rules, you're gonna start breaking them. You know what I mean? So, so this is my way of breaking the rules. And of course, I got some sends going on to some effects buses. I got a reverb, my main reverb that I use. You don't really hear it in the vocals, but it's there to to give it to make it pretty. Added a delay, and added a stereo imager to a send. Um, and I got it kind of you know drastic a little bit. I got the asymmetry off a little bit and the rotation off. Just so I kind of mixed that in parallel with the main vocal. Um, and that's it for the verse. Actually, that's it for the song. And another thing I added was a delay a delay reverb combination. I could have made another effects bus for it, but I didn't feel like doing it, or maybe I didn't think about doing it. Because I was originally trying to do delay throws, and that didn't end up working. I tried to do delay throws on certain phrases, but that didn't end up working out. Um, so I pretty much did it on the whole thing, vocal wise. So this is what it sounds like. So I have the dry signal all the way down. So you don't hear the dry signal. It's only the wet signal now. So this is pretty much the delay to go with the delay I have on the send. So that's what it sounds like. Um, and that's it for the song. Well, for the mix. Now for the bus process. I mean the mix bus processing. Um, Now I started it off with the console shaper, and I pretty much have it at its default setting. And what it did was gave it some thickness to it. So I'm gonna let you guys hear it without the console shaper. So here we go. Hold on, let me turn everything on.
To be 30 and answer just how we made it to 18, maybe. Maybe we just being modest. We ain't supposed to be breathing. This privilege was ill-gotten. How we dodged all the bullets that came for us. Maybe we were made to duck. It's like we joined the devil to stay away from the angel dust. We were rebels to the lifestyle this city reeks, and we were raised on beliefs that our dreams will fall to reach. The outsiders.
Alright, so that gave it a little thickness. The next thing I did was added a what do you call this? A summon amp simulation. It's called Charlie. It's by Prime Studio. I'm not sure of the exact website, but you get this free if you subscribe to their newsletter. Once again, it's called Prime Studio, so you guys can probably Google it. But I just used this to bring the level up. At first, of course, it was pretty low VU wise. So when it comes to mastering, I bring it back to the default meter, the peak and RS meter. So here's what it sounds like now.
We say it's a great thing to be 30.
See, the level is pretty low. Got a peak in it about
maybe we just being modest. We ain't supposed to be breathing. This privilege
minus
was
10
How we
right
dodged
now.
all the bullets that came for us. Maybe we were made to duck. It's like we joined the devil to stay away
minus
from
20
the angel dust. We were rebels to the lifestyle
RMS.
this city reeks, and we were raised on beliefs that.
Alright, so I'm going to put it on now. So it's going to be a jump in volume, so that's why I stopped it. So here it is now.
We say it's a great thing to be 30 and answer just how we made it to 18, maybe. Maybe we just being modest. We ain't supposed to be breathing.
Alright, so as you can see, I got it peaking at about -6 right now, and about -12 RMS. So that's what I did. I did that first for some reason. Then I added a little bit of EQ. And this is my attempt to bring the high end back in when I added the console shaper, when I added the thickness, and taking out some of the highs, or some of the mid highs in the mid range. And then I added it. I ended up adding a little bit of low end to give it a little bit more thickness. And this came from me referencing a couple of tracks, and how thick they were. Let me see. I'm not going to play that because you're not going to really hear anything. Matter of fact, yes, I am. So here's with it without it.
This privilege was ill-gotten. How we dodged all the bullets that came for us. Maybe we were made to duck. It's like we joined the devil to stay away from the angel dust. We were rebels to the lifestyle this city reeks, and we were raised on beliefs that our dreams will fall to reach. The outsiders, the world. 9 miles is.
Okay. And next thing I did was added a bus compressor to it. Again, this is the SSL bus compressor emulation by Native Instruments. Let me see. I kept the ratio low at 1.5. Brought the attack all the way up to its highest setting, to its longest setting. So it has a pretty long attack and then a short release. I kept that low. So here's what that sounds like. And what it did was, added a bit of glue and it thickened it up a little bit too. So without further ado, here it goes. Here it is without it and with it.
We say it's a great thing to be 30 and answer just how we made it to 18, Maybe we just being modest. We ain't supposed to be breathing. This privilege was ill-gotten. How we dodge all the bullets that came for us. Maybe we were made to duck. It's like we joined the devil to stay away from the angel dust. We were rebels to the lifestyle this city reeks. And we were raised on beliefs that our dreams will fall to reach. The outside is the world. 9 miles is where we locked.
Okay, so there it is with that. And the next thing I added was a multi-band compressor. And I added this to tame the high end a little bit. I heard that the high end was jumping out a little bit. So I got everything bypassed. I got everything else bypassed. Every other band bypassed. With the exception of the high end, and I got that doing a little bit of compression with a 2:1 ratio. Short attack, quick release. So here's what that's doing. Here's with it and without it.
We say it's a great thing to be 30 and answer just how we made it to 18, Maybe we just being modest. We ain't supposed to be breathing. This privilege was ill-gotten. How we dodge all the bullets that came for us. Maybe we were made to duck. It's like we joined the devil to stay away from the angel dust. We were rebels to the lifestyle this city reeks. And we were raised on beliefs that our dreams will fall to reach. The outside is the world. 9 miles is...
And I also added a little bit of, a little bit more glue to it. Like I said, I used that again to, tame the high end a little bit. All right. And for the post fader processing, I just ended it off with an L1. I brought the ceiling down to -1 full scale. Basically, just to keep it clear. During my, my journey as a, producer / engineer / artist, I gave up with the loudness wars. I usually, not usually, I used to, try to bring everything up as loud as possible. But, I heard, after hearing, my past mixes, that wasn't really working too well. So I try to keep everything quiet. Quiet is good. Quiet is better. When it comes to the levels full scale, I try to, keep the average level at around -9 full scale. I usually don't go more than 8. Anything higher than I tend to hear everything squashed and with too much glue. So I try to keep it loud while at the end leaving some space at the same time. So here's how it sounded with everything.
I don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Mama, city still ours. We yelling out our hoods, we don't even own our homes. We don't care, the city still ours. The city still ours. Bro, the city still ours. 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 Yeah, the city still ours. We made it past our teens off of sheer willpower. From the bottom of near view to the zenith for Main Hill. We free to go anywhere and the fear allows us.
Okay, and that's pretty much it with the whole song. Once again, my name is Raj Boogie. If y'all like the song, if y'all like what y'all see and like what y'all hear, comment below, subscribe, hit the like button. Hit my Twitter up at xboogie856. Hit up my Facebook at Raj Boogie. My Instagram at Raj Boogie. My SoundCloud at Raj Boogie. All of that. I hope y'all like it. Once again, it's Raj Boogie, and I'm signing out. Peace.